As we said in the Navy, if the flooding puts out the fire, the ship is still lost. So this is where I stand in how we intend to fix some of the problems. On life, I am pro-life. Roe versus Wade is not legislation, but our professional politicians treat it as such. Protecting innocent life is an essential duty of government. It's in our Declaration of Independence and in our Constitution. We must pass the Sanctity of Life Amendment and protect innocent human life in America. On the economy, I would support repeal of free trade legislation. Free trade economics, bailout economics, and stimulus economics do not work. In the course of 30 or 40 years, free trade legislation has destroyed our manufacturing base and left millions of Americans without work and thousands of 4th District Missourians without work. Here are some things to consider: statistics. There's lies, damn lies, and statistics. The U.S. has lost approximately 42,000 factories since 2001. We've lost about 5.5 million manufacturing jobs since October 2000. We've lost 2.4 million jobs to China alone since 2001. In 1959, manufacturing represented 28% of U.S. economic output. In 2008, it was 11.5%. At the end of 2009, less than 12 million Americans worked in manufacturing, the lowest level since 1941. Computer industry manufacturing is lower today than it was in 1975. 1 in 7 Americans now live in poverty. In Missouri, we've lost 20% of our manufacturing, 21% of our manufacturing, and 20% of our construction since between 2004 and 2009. Since NAFTA was passed, we've lost 130,000 jobs in Missouri. 1 in 9 people in Missouri live below the poverty line, and 1 in 5 children in Missouri go hungry. That's what their leadership has done for us. The professional politicians and economists have us believe we live in a global economy. Everyone that I know lives in the local economy and works in the local economy if there's a job. I don't know of anybody who lives in a global economy. And simply put, if the job isn't here, we're not working. We're not providing for our families, and we're not paying our bills. It's just that simple. I say let's make the things we used to make right here again. Let's put Americans back to work. Let's protect our jobs and stop protecting the jobs of workers around the world. That's not our government's job. Our government should protect us, not protect them. Repealing bad trade legislation should be the first thing that any Congress does to stimulate the economy. On the borders, we must secure our borders. I believe Arizona has a constitutional right to protect itself. We have a constitutional right to protect our homes and our families, and I believe a state government has a constitutional right to protect its citizens. We must protect our borders with the military. That's the only solution. I oppose amnesty for illegals. We should change the 14th Amendment so children born of illegal immigrants are not automatically granted United States citizenship. On the debt, I support reducing the debt by reducing the size of government. Republicans and Democrats have never cut a single program without adding another program to take its place. I say let's start reducing the size of government with legislation that eliminates the unconstitutional position of czar in the executive department. 32 plus people have no constitutional authority in the executive department. Let's get rid of them. I support reducing the debt by cutting foreign aid before cutting any domestic program. The Foreign Aid and Assistance Act of 1961 is unconstitutional. There's no provision in our Constitution for the United States government to provide 1 penny to any other country around the world. I'm for a strong military for the sole purpose of national defense. We should avoid war unless there's a declaration of war by Congress. A UN resolution is not a good enough reason for us to send our young men and women into combat anywhere in the world. Time is short, so I'll just hit a few other points quickly. I'm for getting the U.S. out of the UN and the UN out of the U.S. I'm for repeal of the 16th and 17th Amendments. I'm for a recall amendment that will allow you and I to recall our representatives and senators. I'm for energy independence. Let's drill for oil and make the U.S. energy independent finally. I'm for term limits for every elected or appointed official. I'm for the elimination of congressional retirements and pensions. There is no temporary employee at any company in the United States that gets a golden parachute after 1 or 2 terms in office.
Discount.
Time?
Time. Ms. Hartzler.
Okay. I think I'll stand up.